items under study, we had a lengthy discussion at the last council meeting, last month, last year, to borrow Andy's terms, about bike lanes and doing a poll on the bike lanes. And I had a constituent meet with me today and asking, okay, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to do it? Are we really going to do it? And I think from my recollection from the discussion, there were several of us that would like to see a poll taken. Because anecdotally, all we have right now is the emails that we get. So, are we just going to let the discussion from December go on the shelf along with the 2000 comp plan, or are we going to actually step out and do something? I would like us to step out and actually do a poll. And I'm looking kind of for 4 more head nods to go do that.
Well, it's hard to know who to poll. I mean, I'm just going to be the devil's advocate here. Are we going to do a citywide poll of everybody in the city and then who would pay for it? And it's a pretty complicated process. And then what specifically are we going to ask? I think all those are the questions, because if you have a poll and you're not getting the right information, then you're misleading the public by what your conclusions are.
Well, there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed and worked out. What are the questions? How large is its population size going to be? Obviously, but those don't get answered unless we say we're going to go do one. And as I stated at the last meeting, this is probably in the top 5 of the emails that I've gotten on a subject, but this is probably number 1 on the one that has been the most persistent. That this has been going on for years now, and and there's these things that are stats that are being thrown out that are totally unsubstantiated. Some of us are saying 50-50, some are saying the majority. Other folks are saying that. I think this is a question. Where does the public rest on this is a question that we need to go out and ask. And I'd like to move out on that. And David has a comment.
David, did you want to comment on this?
Just a couple of things. From my perspective, where the public stands on that issue at this time is frankly secondary. The first question to ask is a question that we on council, in conjunction with the city staff, need to answer, which is it in the city's best interest to have the road diagram or not? I recall that's the reason essentially that we were in the stormwater mess. Because the city council saw the results of what the city at that point in time wanted to do. The city council at that point in time, seeing what the citizens had said they want at that particular point in time, they got rid of the stormwater. They didn't have the necessary debate to begin with, which is, was that the right thing to do, whether the citizens wanted it or not. One of the things that from a philosophical standpoint, that I've grown increasingly convinced of over the last year and a half, is that we've kind of forgotten that when we take our oaths, there's 3 words in the preamble to both the United States and Colorado Constitution, which we say we're going to uphold, which we forget about. And those 3 words are "and our posterity." So I'm perfectly comfortable listening to a poll for what the citizens are saying right now. I will tell you that it could be 80-20. I'm not sure that's going to answer the question. And that's why I'm saying that polling, to me, really puts something ahead of what is the more fundamental question, which is, are we, and I'm perfectly comfortable with this, is we can as council, have a debate amongst ourselves, ask staff to make a presentation, why we're doing this, what this looks like, what the rationale for that is. That's, I think, where we start. And if I am convinced from the staff presentation, from the discussion on council, that it is best to have this road dining and have these bike lanes both now and in the future, I will tell you that it could be 90% of the citizens could come forward and say, we don't like it. My vote at that point would still be what is best in the best interest of the city. At least I would hope so. I hope I have that integrity. So that's where I'm at. Polling to me doesn't really address the fundamental question. And I do think that city council has not been involved. I'm not sure it's necessary for us to be involved in the fundamental question, which is, should we proceed with this or not, with the road diet?
And it might be good to have Jill here as well, because she's been certainly vocal supporter of it. But how do you feel about having a lunch discussion about this?
That's a good idea.
About whether to move forward with the poll. It's a valid point, and people are asking.
Okay.
Do you feel okay about that, Don?
Yeah, I mean, we can wait till tomorrow, but, you know, David, I'll go back to you. The problem that we're having is, and I am not a big bike enthusiast. There's too many bicycle riders out there that I've experienced that have been rude or have ignored the rules of the road that have really tainted my standing and impression of them. As I said before, I do not walk the Santa Fe Trail with my dog anymore because I'm afraid that the bicyclists there are just flat out rude. But, you know, for somebody that would like to bike, or that segment of the population, not just one person that would like to bike, to have a safe way to get from destination A to destination B is something the city should accommodate. And I've driven Cascade from Fillmore down to Williamette, and I think it was very nicely done. But it doesn't need to be done on Nevada and Weber and Wasatch as well. And I think that is the concern that we're hearing is how many bike paths? You know, when we approved the bike plan, you know, I made that one change that what was on there was a notional plan and not the actual vision of where every single bike lane was going to go. Because you got to do work with the community. And even the bike plan mentioned that there are good bikers and there are bad bikers, just as there are good drivers and bad drivers being considerate of bikers. But this thing has just gone on and on that for so long, and we don't know where the public stands on this, that it would be a good data point. Doesn't mean that is going to dictate your vote, which we don't get anyway because it's an administrative function. But I think it would be a good data point for both council and the executive branch to know what the majority of the citizens of the city are thinking on putting bike paths on major arteries of the city.
I would also say I'm a bike enthusiast, as you know, and I agree with you completely. There are some very poor bicyclists out there, and I would encourage the police in priority to start enforcing start writing tickets to bicyclists. I think it's a necessary.
Well, I think that would be a great step. In fact, I discussed that with a constituent that visited me this morning. His argument back was, we can't even control speeding in the city with automobiles.
Right.
You know, the police are never going to write a bicyclist a ticket.
I agree. I wish they could.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about this a little further, because it's a big commitment. I'd like to give it enough time so we can really, does that sound good? We may not be able to do it at tomorrow's meeting, though, because we have a bunch of other things, but we'll see if we can start to talk about it.